You shouldn't have, but you did. You went looking through your spouse's stuff and you found something that you were shocked to see. Well, even though it was not the smartest thing for you to do, and I'll tell you why in a minute, I will tell you that you aren't alone. My name is Kimberly Holmes. I'm the CEO of Marriage Helper. And every day we talk to hundreds of people who are wanting to fix their relationship. And many times there's one spouse who is hiding something. It may be a gambling addiction, alcohol, another relationship. And when you feel like your spouse is hiding something, honestly, it makes you paranoid, right? I've lived through this in my own relationship. I suspected that my husband was hiding something that he was doing. I asked him about it for years, and he denied it. And as much as I wanted to believe him, there was just part of me that deep down didn't. So if you are going through this, please know you're not alone in your feelings. And also know that if your spouse is indeed hiding something, then that doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't mean that your relationship has to be over, and it doesn't mean that your relationship cannot be fixed. In this video, I'll quickly cover why your spouse may be hiding something from you, what not to do if you suspect your spouse is hiding something, and what to do if you suspect your spouse is hiding something. But first, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we release the newest, most relevant relationship content that matters to you. So please subscribe. So here's what's first. Why your spouse may be hiding something from you. This is not a comprehensive list, but just a couple of points to get you to think about some things. Here's my first question to you. Why do you think that your spouse is hiding something from you? Are you being paranoid, or is there actually a change in your spouse's behavior that's leading you to believe something else is going on? There are some other videos that we have on YouTube that go more in depth on specific situations about how to identify if your spouse is hiding something. You can find a list of those videos in our show notes, so mark those and go watch them next. But finish this one first. We worked with one couple where the husband was convinced that his wife was having an affair. When we asked him why, he couldn't really pinpoint one thing. Because his wife was a little younger than him and she was very good looking, he started to become paranoid that she was seeing other people. There was little to no change in her behavior in the sense that she wasn't gone more than normal, she wasn't trying to be protective of her phone or her email, anything like that. However, the wife did start to give pushback when her husband started asking to check her phone all the time. When he started calling her every single hour to see where she was, the husband's paranoia ended up creating the problem, where the wife started feeling controlled, and that is why she began to give pushback to her husband, not because she was hiding something. You don't need to assume your spouse is hiding something and then start treating them as if they are, because if they are not hiding something, it's going to make everything worse. So the bottom line is this. You need to know whether or not your suspicions are based in reality or if you are just overreacting to the things that you're experiencing in your marriage. And you may be saying, well, Kimberly, the only way that I can figure out if they're grounded in reality or not is to look. So here's number 2. Here's what not to do if you suspect your spouse is hiding something. Don't snoop. Almost daily, we'll hear someone say, I was looking through my husband's phone and I found texts between him and his coworker. Or, I suspected my wife was hiding something, so I looked through her emails and found the evidence that she was in fact doing what I thought she was doing. Now, you may be thinking, but Kimberly, how did I do anything wrong? They are the ones who are lying and are hiding things. They are in the wrong. Yes, I agree with you. It is not right for your spouse to hide things, deceive you, or lie to you, ever. But we aren't talking about your spouse right now. We are talking about you. And here's why it backfires for you to look through your spouse's phone, email, computer, car, whatever else there might be. If you find something, what are you going to do with what you found? You have 2 options. You can confront your spouse about it, or you can ignore it. And let's face it, you aren't going to ignore it. So clearly, you're going to try and confront your spouse. And what exactly do you think they're going to say? Well, you have to tell them the truth. You should never lie about how you found something out. Then there's not only your spouse's lies on the table, but yours. And no, you cannot justify lying because your spouse did it. Come on, be better than that. So you'll have to say, I went through your phone and here's what I found. And how do you think your spouse is going to react to that? 99% of the time, not good. Your spouse is going to get mad, defensive, and feel like you betrayed them by violating their privacy. And if you want to fight with your spouse about how they can't be mad because they're the one who's lying, then go ahead. But it's a fight that's only going to make things worse. The bottom line is this. In this situation, your spouse is going to be mad at you, even though it doesn't seem fair or logical. And what's worse is the fact that you snooped is only going to give your spouse the ammunition they need to deflect the situation entirely from what they're doing and instead focus on what you did. Now, instead of being able to talk about the deceit, the lies, what they've been hiding between the two of you, making progress and ultimately fixing the relationship, your spouse is only going to focus on their hurt and their anger. Okay, so if you aren't supposed to snoop, then what can you do? Should you just live with the fact that your spouse is hiding something and wait it out? No. I know it might sound like I contradicted myself, but here's point number 3. Here's what you can do if you suspect your spouse is hiding something. If you can, talk to your spouse. Not when they are mad or angry or if you're in the middle of a fight, but when things are calm. If your spouse is hiding something, it may be because they don't believe it is a safe place to share things with you. It also may be because they are doing something wrong and they know it's really going to hurt you if they tell you. So they might be having a fear factor of their own there. They might feel guilty themselves. But overall, the safer you can make the environment, the more likely they are to open up and tell you the truth. And if you have done that and your spouse did not open up and it just led to making things worse, then you have a couple of choices. At the end of the conversation, if they didn't open up or share, you can simply say, if you ever want to talk about anything or share anything, then I'm here for you. You leave yourself open to your spouse being able to come back to you because it may take time for them to get the courage or feel comfortable to open up to you about some of the things they might be struggling with. And yes, they may never tell you the truth. You have to understand that you cannot make your spouse tell you something. You cannot make them be honest. You can look through their phone and find proof and present it to them. And if you choose to do that, then you have to be ready to deal with the defensiveness of your spouse. They still probably won't confess. They'll still probably try and cover it up. So just because you find something out and know it for sure and try to talk to your spouse about it doesn't really mean anything. All it means is that you know something for sure. And that's honestly probably what you're really trying to get to. You just want to know. As humans, we want to know what's going on, and then we want to know why. So here's what I want to encourage you with. What would change if you knew? If you knew for sure that your spouse was having an affair or hiding a drinking problem or whatever it might be, what would you do differently than now? So here's my next question. Do you have to know for sure in order to do the right things that you need to do now to fix the relationship? Let me explain. If you suspect that your spouse is seeing someone else, then ask yourself, what would I do differently if I knew for a fact that they were? If your answer is, I would throw them out, I would confront them, I would fill in the blank with whatever vengeful act you're thinking of in your mind, then I just want to make sure you know that none of those things are going to get your spouse to stop the affair and want to fix the marriage. So even if you did know for sure, your actions after that may not be beneficial to the relationship. If your answer is, I don't know what I would do, I would be heartbroken, it would tear me up inside, but I don't know what I would do, then maybe you aren't even ready to know. Because it doesn't make a difference to know a piece of information if you can't actually do anything to apply it after you find out. I know that you want to know. I know that you want to stop worrying about this, and I know that you want to stop obsessing over whether or not this is happening. And I do want all of those things for you. But I don't think that knowing if your spouse is hiding something most of the time is going to make a difference in any of those things. I don't think it's going to make any of it stop. In fact, knowing will probably make it worse unless you are prepared to handle the information. So what can you do to make sure that you are prepared to handle what you may find out? The first thing is work on you first. We have a video all about that you can see in the show notes below, all about how to work on becoming the most attractive you can be. The second is to make sure that you have stopped your push behaviors. We have a whole nother video about that as well. And the third one is get a coach. You are too close to your situation. You need help in assessing what to do. There's so much information and differing opinions on YouTube and in articles and on podcasts or on all the self-help books that are available. It's overwhelming to know who to believe and where to go. At Marriage Helper, our coaches work with thousands of couples. They can be that unbiased expert opinion that you need to help guide you through the nuances of your situation and what you need to do to be able to handle it. You need a coach. It is worth it. There is so much value in having a person to be able to walk alongside you in this and help you think these things through. This is your marriage that we are talking about. It is one of the most important things in your life. Please don't try and shortcut this. We want to help you fix your relationship. As I said, we have amazing coaches that you can work with, but we also have workshops and online courses to help you wherever you are in the world and whatever situation your relationship is in. You can give our office a call at 866-903-0990 and speak with our client relations team, who would be able to plug you into the various products, resources, and services that we have available for you. Or you can find out more by visiting our website at marriagehelper.com. We would love to help you fix and repair your relationship.